Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're going to explore an important concept in English grammar, quantifiers. These are words that tell us how much or how many of something we're talking about. Let's get started. First things first, let's define quantifiers. In simple terms, quantifiers are words used to give us more information about the number or amount of something. They can be used with both countable and uncountable nouns. So, we might use quantifiers like some, many, few, a lot of, and much. But they all work a little differently, depending on the noun we're using them with. Let's break it down. Countable nouns are things that we can count, like apple, dog, or book. Uncountable nouns are things that we can't count individually, like water, sand, or advice. Now that we have the basics covered, let's look at the different types of quantifiers and when to use them. Let's start with quantifiers for countable nouns, the things we can count. Some common quantifiers for countable nouns include many, used to talk about large quantities of countable things, especially in negative sentences or questions. For example, how many books do you have? Or, there aren't many people here today. Few. This one refers to a small number of countable things, but it has a slightly negative tone, suggesting that the number is less than expected. For instance, I have few friends in this city. A few. This is similar to few, but it has a more positive meaning. It suggests that the number is small, but still sufficient. For example, I have a few good books you can borrow. Let's look at some examples to make it clearer. I have many pencils. There are few cars in the parking lot. We have a few cookies left. Notice that many is typically used in negative or question forms, while few and a few describe quantities of countable nouns. Next, let's move on to uncountable nouns, the things we can't count individually. Some common quantifiers for uncountable nouns include much, used when talking about a large amount of something uncountable, particularly in questions and negative sentences. For example, how much water do we need? Or, there isn't much sugar in the cake. Little. This suggests a small amount of something uncountable, and like few, it has a slightly negative meaning. For instance, I have little time to finish my homework. A little. This implies a small amount, but unlike little, it's more positive. For example, I have a little milk left. Let's look at some examples. There's much information to process. I have little patience for this. There's a little water in the glass. Remember, much and little are often used in negative or question forms, while a little and a few have a more positive meaning. Now, let's talk about some quantifiers that can be used with both countable and uncountable nouns. Some. This is used in positive sentences, questions, and offers for both countable and uncountable nouns. For example, would you like some coffee? Uncountable. Do you have some books with you? Countable. Any. This is mostly used in negative sentences and questions. For example, I don't have any money. Uncountable. Are there any apples left? Countable. A lot of. This is used to describe large quantities of both countable and uncountable nouns. For example, she has a lot of friends. Countable. I have a lot of homework. Uncountable. Let's practice a bit. We don't have any milk left. I need some help with this project. There are a lot of people at the concert. As you can see, some and any are very useful in both questions and negative or positive statements. Finally, let's take a look at a few special quantifiers that might pop up in different situations. All, used when referring to the entire quantity of something. For example, all the students passed the exam. None, used to refer to zero quantity. For example, there were no cookies left. None of them are here. Most, used to refer to the majority of something. For example, most of the cake is gone. Several. This refers to more than two, but not many. For example, I've been to several countries. You'll find these quantifiers used in different contexts, depending on how much you're talking about. All right, let's quickly recap what we've learned today. Quantifiers tell us about the quantity of things, whether countable or uncountable. With countable nouns, we use words like many, few, and a few. With uncountable nouns, we use much, little, and a little. Some quantifiers, like some and any, can be used for both countable and uncountable nouns. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more grammar tips. See you next time.